The question came like a whisper, but the answer echoes like a deafening shout. Have you ever noticed how control is a mirage, slipping through your fingers like water? We spend our lives trying to grasp what cannot be held, and with each frustrating attempt, the pain only intensifies. What if I told you that this anguish is actually a choice? A choice that, behind the anger, reveals an invisible pain, an emotional loneliness you didn't know you carried. When you feel anger, who truly suffers? It's not the person who provoked you, it's you. The weight of that reaction burdens your soul, undermining your inner peace. Have you thought about that? An external spark ignites a fire within you. But what if true freedom lies in letting go of that need for control, in releasing the anger that holds you captive? True masters understand that power doesn't come from controlling the waves of the ocean, but from learning to ride the currents. Imagine for a moment, you are on a river, the water flows, carrying everything with it. You let go. This is the path to transforming pain into relief. The emotional shackles that bind you are what cause you to ignore the essence of who you truly are, calm and serene. Instead of fighting against the current, you can allow yourself to be carried away, to flow. Now take a breath, feel your body. What does it tell you? It's okay not to have all the answers, not knowing what to do. With each beat of your heart, you are getting closer to yourself. And when you finally embrace that silence, the one you fear so much, that's when transformation begins. The noise of the world can be deafening, but within you lies an oasis of peace. Allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to let go. In the faces of those who don't understand you, in the words that still echo, remember, what they see is not you. What if, instead of seeking validation from others, you sought your own? You are more than a label society tries to impose on you. No more pretending to be a version that you are not. Today, you release that illusion. Look within. Ask yourself, what really matters? Do you feel the chains of the past? They don't have to define you. You are not your wounds. You are what you choose to become. In the softness of a river, in the freedom of a gaze, you find true mastery. Being yourself, without masks, without control. So breathe, and know that letting go is a powerful act. You are on the path to healing. Have you ever wondered who is really observing your emotion? Picture a clear, unwavering sky while dark clouds gather. That sky is you, your deepest self. The clouds represent your emotions, transient, intense, but not permanent. They come and go, but the sky remains. This is what it means to be the inner observer. When your anger erupts, who is the one that feels it? Is it you, or is it the observer who remains unshaken by the storm? You are not the anger. You are the one who perceives the anger, and this perspective changes everything. Imagine someone ignoring you during a conversation. The instinct is to feel disrespected. But what is really happening? This is an opportunity to check what you believe you deserve in the other's gaze. Sometimes, the pain we feel is simply our unmet expectations. But what comes next might be the most important part. Have you ever stopped to think that there may be space to observe without identifying with your emotion? What if the silence you fear is the only place where you can truly listen to yourself? Hold on to that thought. Awareness is a silent power. In Shaolin, masters train to observe, to remain unshakable. They don't become insensitive. They gain profound wisdom about the impermanent nature of what they feel. This means that past pains, rejections, and loneliness, all of this is like a passing cloud. What remains is the sky of your essence. Feeling sadness or anger is not a weakness. It's a part of being human. But learning to say, "That is not me," is a step toward freedom. Are you exhausted? You have reason to be. The constant struggle with your emotions is tiring. So, begin practicing observation instead of reaction. Tell yourself, "Today, upon waking, I am capable of observing." It is this attentive gaze that transforms chaos into clarity. Spread that inner peace, as if everything you feel were merely a distant whisper. And in practicing silence, discover the strength that exists in that deep corner of your being. There, you will find a space that does not need to be defended. When the clouds return, and they always will, you will know how to watch, breathe, and simply be. You decide when to act, when to be, and above all, when to remain still. Your true self is always present, waiting to be recognized. In the serenity of the temple, an ancient wisdom resides. The Shaolin monks don't meditate merely to quiet their minds. They practice to master themselves. Here, learning to access silence is essential. Have you ever thought that your greatest obstacle might be the turbulence of your own thoughts? Quieting the mind isn't easy, but it's within this stillness that your inner strength begins to bloom. When you breathe, feel it. Feel the weight of the world around you and the lightness of your essence. It's like a river, sometimes chaotic, other times a perfect reflection. What if you too could become that mirror reflecting clarity? Instead of being swept away by emotions, what if you allowed yourself to observe each wave? Each emotion is like a floating leaf. Let them go. In truth, the monk's path is not about fleeing from pain, but about embracing it. Enough. You deserve to breathe without fear. Learning to sit with your own pain without losing yourself in it is a gift. You're tired of fighting against your feelings, aren't you? Sometimes all you need to do is stop and observe, not react. Self-control reveals itself in small rituals. Rise a few hours before dawn. Breathe. Let the silence fill you. Ask yourself, what do I truly need right now? Day by day, this practice becomes a refuge. How about dedicating a few minutes to it? Close your eyes for a moment and feel safe in your own company. Have you ever felt physically present, yet emotionally distant? That's loneliness. In that deep connection between you and your silence, you find the understanding you've been seeking. The Shaolin practice is an invitation to an inner journey. Even on the most tumultuous days, remember, peace begins from within, and slowly, you will start to remember who you have always been. Have you ever wondered what weight you carry? Life can feel like a heavy rock dragging you down. Letting go is the key that can open the door to lightness. It may seem impossible to free yourself from what holds you back. But what if I told you that this freedom is already inside you? Imagine freedom as leaves in the wind. They dance aimlessly, light and unbound. Your soul should be just like that. Yet something holds you back. The need for approval, the pain of the past, or the fear of loneliness. You are not alone on this journey. What burdens you is an echo of what many feel. This internal struggle, so silent, can be exhausting. And there's no shame in that. Feel it. What holds you down? The expectations of others? The shadows of your childhood? All these invisible anchors keep you stuck at the bottom of the sea. But know this, you have the choice to let go. Letting go does not mean abandoning. It means releasing. It's understanding that you define yourself by who you are, not by who others expect you to be. What happens when you allow lightness in? Space opens up, your heart breathes, and peace finds its home within you. What if the silence you fear is actually the only place where you can truly hear yourself? Today, upon waking, take a moment with that silence. Ask yourself, what do I really need to let go of? View your emotions as falling leaves. When you release them, you become the energy that flows. You give yourself permission to dance amid uncertainty. Enough is enough. You deserve to live without those invisible chains. Freedom is right there, waiting for you. Next time you feel the urge for external validation, resist it. Instead, love yourself. That love is what will bring the clarity you seek. So, take a breath. Experience being yourself, free from the weight. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, stillness is often perceived as a weakness. But what if I told you that your true strength lies in silence? That sacred space where you can truly listen to yourself. Sometimes, you need to just stop and hear. Modern life is loud, but the most powerful response might come in the form of a whisper. What if the power of your response begins in the silence before the shout? When you allow yourself to be guided by quietude, something magical happens. Picture this. You sitting in a park, watching the dance of the leaves. They don't rush. They simply exist. You also need moments like that where peace reigns. In that stillness, your often restless mind finds a refuge. Ask yourself, what if the silence I fear is actually the only place where I can truly understand myself? Because it's in that calmness that you recognize what really matters. But there's more to it. Silence is not empty. It is a sacred space that holds your truth. It's where your scars reveal themselves as maps of your journey. You are more than your pain. What you carry often isn't solely about you. It's about life, learning, and the wounds that shape who you become. There comes a moment when you need to take a deep breath and accept that reality. The hurts can transform into wisdom. You don't have to be strong all the time. It's okay not to know what to do right now. You deserve some time for yourself. This pause could be the first step toward genuine transformation. Try it. Upon waking, close your eyes. Feel the weight of your silence. Ask yourself, what does it want to tell me? Let that question resonate. And when you find yourself lost in the chaos of the world, remember that each breath is an act of faith in your own voice. You can choose tranquility. So embrace that strength that emerges from silence. That's where your true freedom lies. What have you chosen to nurture in your mind? Every thought is like a seed, and the soil where you plant them will determine your harvest. Do you feel the weight of loneliness even when surrounded by others? A mind filled with distractions can turn the most beautiful garden into a barren desert. What if, right now, you could redirect your focus to what truly matters? The discipline of attention is key. When you cultivate fertile ground, your mind flourishes with truth, but this requires practice. Often, your thoughts spiral into exhausting patterns, leaving you feeling drained. Life, in its complexity, can seem chaotic. Enough is enough. You deserve to breathe without fear. Look around you. What truly deserves your attention? Imagine yourself in a vast field where you can choose the flowers you want to plant. Would you rather sustain doubt or nurture hope? Isn't it hope that makes life more vibrant? The choice of where to direct your attention isn't just an action, it's a sacred ritual. What if practicing this refined attention is the way to free your soul from the incessant noise? By choosing consciously, you bring life to what you are seeking. Give yourself a moment. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Clear away the dry leaves that cover your inner garden. This choice is yours. Connecting with yourself isn't an act of selfishness. It's a gesture of self-compassion. Ask yourself, what seeds am I planting? This question is an invitation, a call to an inner journey that can be liberated. Every small step counts, and each deep breath aligns you with your truth. By taking control of your attention, you become the artist of your own reality. The path to awakening doesn't have to be filled with pain. In fact, it can be gentle, like the wind brushing against your skin. Are you ready to cultivate a new space? The silence you fear might be the only place where true listening occurs. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by an almost uncontrollable impulse, a wave of emotions that pulls you far away from who you truly are? In those moments, automatic reactions take over. But what leads you to respond? Awareness, the real choice. Imagine you're in the middle of a heated discussion. The words slice through the air like knives. It's easy to react, isn't it? Anger pulses, your heart races. But what if, instead, you stepped back? What if you became the observer rather than the actor? Reacting is human. Responding is divine. The difference is subtle yet profound. In your daily life, reflect on this. What is your first choice in moments of tension? Silencing your mind for just a moment can change everything. Like the wind gently brushing the leaves, awareness brings clarity. Something within you urges you to breathe, to remember who you are. These moments require practice, a deliberate choice to see rather than just feel. What if what you fear, the silence that seems overwhelming, is actually the only space where you can truly hear your own voice? Being kind to yourself is the first step. What you feel does not define your essence. You are so much more. Each emotion, whether it's anger or sadness, is just a temporary visitor. They do not define your being. Enough is enough. Today, you won't diminish yourself any longer. Allow yourself to observe. What's surfacing inside you right now? A pressure cooker or a deep calm? Have you tried simply sitting with your emotions without judging them? Give them space. It's in that pause that wisdom can blossom. Allow yourself to be humble in this process. Accept that as you learn to pause before reacting, you discover a new power within yourself. You transform impulsiveness into a conscious choice. It becomes a dance, not a struggle. Life is made up of cycle, and this practice of response versus reaction can be a path to healing. Instead of getting lost in an impulse, return to the essence that resides within you. You are lightness, you are understanding, and every choice you make can reflect that truth. Little by little, you will remember who you have always been, someone with the capacity to respond, not merely react. The true power lies in perceiving and choosing, not in being swept away by the tide. Pain is a silent scream. It stays locked inside you, like a mystery. Have you ever felt surrounded, yet still so alone? Deep down, everyone carries their wounds, and often, the only response we find is anger. But what if that very anger, which consumes your soul, is what keeps you from seeing the light? Compassion is the remedy that turns poison into healing. When you allow yourself to embrace your pain, a space opens up. You let compassion in, and it changes the way you perceive both yourself and the world. It's an invitation. You don't need to fight against what you feel. By accepting your scars, you can finally begin to heal. Picture yourself on a difficult day. Your mind is bubbling like a turbulent sea, and anger rises like relentless wave. Now, take a breath. Consider this. What if anger is simply a signal of what needs to be loved? When you find yourself hurt, it's easy to want to react, shouting, seeking revenge. But doesn't that slowly turn you into the very pain you carry? No one can pretend forever. You don't need rejection, loneliness, or overwhelm to define you. What you need is silence. What you need is acceptance. And it is in this space of compassion that miracles begin to unfold. Think of a moment in your life when someone hurt you. What if you could look at that moment with love instead of anger? Remember, true rebellion isn't about fighting against others. It's about freeing yourself from the burden you've been carrying. Your heart deserves to open, not close. Pain is not your enemy. It's a part of you longing to be seen, understood, and ultimately loved. Are you exhausted? You have every reason to be. The emotional weight you feel is real. It's okay not to know what to do right now. That doesn't define who you are. So today, I suggest a practice. When you wake up, tell yourself, I am capable. Close your eyes for a few seconds and feel the weight of your silence. It has something to share with you. Your pain can become your greatest strength. Remember, when you find compassion for your pain, you are, in fact, discovering light. There's no greater freedom than realizing that each wound, each tear, is part of your journey. Embrace this journey, welcome your shadows, and uncover the beauty of transformation. This is what makes us human, the ability to love our scars. They are not just reminders of what we've been through. They are signs that, day by day, we are choosing to heal. It's time to look inward. The seed of transformation lies quietly, waiting to bloom. But first, you need to connect with the pain you carry. This pain often feels unbearable, a weight you can't quite put into words. What if I told you that within this pain are also the clues to your peace? Take a moment to pause and breathe. Where do you feel your pain? Is it the loneliness that hugs you, even when you're surrounded by others? Or perhaps it's that mental exhaustion that makes you feel like you're fighting an endless battle. Allow yourself to feel it. Now, imagine that discomfort is the ink of your existence. What could you create from these feelings? Transformation isn't magical. It's a daily invitation to silent practice, meditation, reflection, moments of stillness. These are the paths that cultivate the soil where your seed can take root. You might be wondering, how can I do this? The answer is simple. Slow down. Take time for yourself. By giving yourself this space, you begin to hear the voice of your own soul. Meditate in silence. Feel the weight of your presence. With each breath, nourish the seed of transformation. And what if what you really need to let go of is the fear of not being understood, the fear of not finding your place? When you release this fear, you make room for the blossoming of inner understanding. Are you exhausted? You have every reason to be, but you are also capable. Finally, ask yourself, what am I ready to let go of? What prevents me from embracing my own peace? This is the key. The freedom you desire begins when you decide to hit the reset button on your story. If a desire for transformation has awakened within you, allow yourself to live it. And if, at the end of this journey, something has touched your heart, it might be time to share that feeling. Write in the comments, I choose to be reborn. Your words could be the light someone needs to find their way.